Ah, just checking my mail. And it looks like I've received a bill from the MTA Bridges and Tunnels, the Port Authority, New York, New Jersey, the Thruway Authority, Bridge Authority of New York State. And this is an official toll invoice, tolls by mail, for my use of various roads, bridges, and possibly tunnels on my way to the Boston area for the MGK summer event. So all little amounts of money that add up to $33.49 American, which in Canadian money would be, God, almost $50, $45, something like that. And I may be getting a second bill for the return back, possibly? I don't know. Anyway, that is that. It was a fun event anyway. Small price to pay. Now, speaking of MGK, he has a thread that's called 10 Guys in Suits and Ties. And, you know, if there's one thing I should have learned from being a part of this vinyl community for almost 3 years, is that you got to act quickly, because if you don't, someone else will poach your choices, which is exactly what happened here. So I've had to remove certain things from my list and add others. But I have 10 items here of guys in suits and ties, except for number 1, which, and the last one. So the first one are not guys. These are the Runaways, and now the Runaways. And as you can tell, if you didn't know already, these are women, of course. And now you might be asking yourself, are these not tuxedos? After all, they have tailcoats in 2 cases here, frilly shirts with bow ties. But in my research that was conducted about 6 minutes ago, the distinguishing difference between a tux and a suit is the use of satin on the lapels, on the pocket trim, and on the seam on the leg. Now, maybe these white pants here have a visible seam, but isn't a tuxedo just a form of a suit anyway? So these may or may not be suits. Who cares, right? They are looking more casual on the back, except for Joan and Lita here, who are still wearing their tux. I think it counts. This is from 1979, of course. Cool record. Yeah, cover of a Slade song in here. Cover of a Beatles track. Yeah, interesting. Now, the very first one I thought of was this record from 1977 from The Jam, and they're all looking kind of fantastic there with their skinny ties and black jackets on the cover here with that graffiti in the background, In the City, if I didn't say it, 1977, and looking cool on the back. This is also a really great record, a very strong record, except for the Batman theme. I still don't understand why that's on here. I mean, I like Batman too, but I would never cover the theme song. Here's an interesting one from Kraftwerk called Ralph and Florian. Ralph and Florian. Florian's wearing the suit with the musical lapel pin. This came out in 1975, and for some reason the band did not like this record, and they kind of have disowned it. So many of the vinyl pressings you will see or encounter are unofficial. This is an authentic US pressing from 1975. Here's the back. I don't know why they disowned it, because I actually think it's quite good. You'll notice there's some egg cartons on the wall here, some sort of acoustic treatment in this otherwise bunkerish looking room they're in with bricks and what seems to be a concrete floor. But this is actually good. I don't understand why they don't re-release this officially, because I think it's actually good. Yeah. All right, for a Canadian band, we have Sloan, and this is Sloan Steady from 2022. And this is probably a classic case of people not getting the memo, because these 2 guys are wearing suits and the guys on the ends are not. Either they didn't want to wear a suit, or who knows what happened. And this guy even has like a cap that doesn't really suit the suit look, if you know what I mean. But this is a really good later Sloan record. Oh, there they are again. There. And this, just because I'm opening it up, I'll show you that it's on this nice purple vinyl. So pretty cool. Now, I almost chose a couple of David Bowie records, but I put them back and decided to go with this side project called Tin Machine, because all 4 guys are wearing suits. This guy left his tie at home, and this guy decided to up it a bit with a pocket puff there, but otherwise they match pretty well in these dark suits. Double-breasted dark suits, I guess. I guess not everyone loved Tin Machine, but I actually think this is pretty good. But not as good as Bowie, let's be honest. So there we go. And to maybe bring a bit of culture and sophistication, I've chosen this Dave Brubeck record, although this is probably I guess it's a painting or an illustration, but he's painted or illustrated in his lovely suit there. And this is Dave Brubeck's all-time greatest hits double record with classics like Take 5. And if we open this up, there are his companions there also, some of them dressed very well. So you might be wondering when this came out, and I can't remember, 74 or something, possibly. Anyway, it's a pretty good compilation for people who like jazz music. And then on the new wave side of things, we have Japan, Gentlemen Take Polaroids, and we have David Sylvian on the cover here in his jacket and tie. Can't tell what kind of suit this is. It looks kind of shiny. Maybe it's leather, hard to say. He always has a very interesting look to him. And on the back, they all look pretty sophisticated, I have to say. So this is from 1980. Good record. Here's a record that is maybe a little oddball or off the wall, and I'd be curious to know if you are familiar with it. The radio station I mentioned many times called CFNY in Toronto used to play a certain track on here a lot. It was kind of like I would hesitate to call it a novelty track, but it was certainly well known and quite loved. This is a guy called Jonah Louie, and this album is called On the Other Hand, There's a Fist. Interesting. And there's a track on here, the first track on side A, called You'll Always Find Me in the Kitchen at Parties. Now, I think that's a brilliant idea for a song because it's true, right? If you're at a party, you often end up in the kitchen. I don't know why that is. It's because there's food or drink there or because it's not so loud, but there was always a gathering of people in the kitchen. So this is kind of a cool record. He even has a cigarette. So this is on Stiff Records. And 1980, again. All right, so here's a record from 1983, a comp from them. And, you know, in later days, I'm saying 1983 was later days, but after them ceased to be a thing, they'd often use Van Morrison's name on the cover just to encourage people to buy it if you didn't know already that them included Van Morrison. But this is a 1983 comp, and they're all wearing these suits. Very cool, right? And, of course, this has everything you'd want to hear from them, including Here Comes the Night, Gloria, and some covers, you know, I Put a Spell on You, that kind of thing. Well, the first one I meant, Gloria is also a cover, but yeah, really cool collection of them tracks. And lastly, I'm going to include someone that has been mentioned a couple of times already, including by Mark Morris, who thought that I had already showed it, but I hadn't. But I've chosen a different record from this guy, and this is Gary Newman, Dance. And maybe this pushes the envelope a bit on what a tie actually is, because I don't know if you can see it there, but instead of a tie, what he really has is some sort of piece of jewelry. I don't know what it's called. It's not a bolo tie. And on the inside, you can also see it. There's the full view. So it's not, I don't know, it's not really a tie. He's got the hat though, and the double-breasted suit, and his earring. I don't like the shoes, let's be honest, but I had to include Gary Newman. This is actually a really good record. Slow Card China opens it up. It's really cool. So Gary Newman, Dance. And that concludes 10 records with mostly guys in suits and mostly ties for Mike and MGK Boston. And if you haven't done this, I'd be curious to see what you have. That's it. I'm going to pay my bill, and I'll see you in the next video.